we are back at the sink. I know, we're here the other day. I got a stone and some penguins and stone and some penguins, and I wanted to just knock this out quick. It's a sort of a follow-up to the Tamashanta video. So here we have water of air, right? So you remember we saw that's just the problem. Keep a pencil at the sink to take notes. There's a post-it pad around here somewhere. So you remember this, right? This was the Tamashanta, the one that I kludged, two logs glued together. The one I didn't show you, right? This is also a Tamashanta. It's actually a combo stone. So the other side is Dalmore blue. These were quarried in proximity to where Tamashanta and water of air were taken from the ground, all part of the same geological group over there. But this is a coarser stone. And you'll notice that this is tam and it's darker than this. And true to the online rumors, this lighter variant does seem to be marginally finer than this. What does that mean at the end of the day? I don't know. They're both still not what I would call a razor finisher, but if you want to use the term pre-finisher, go right ahead. And listen, if you're shaving off of a Tamashanta and whatever, and you like it, that's fine. I can respect that. I respect when people say I shave off that stone, and it's like whatever. You have to believe them. Why would they say otherwise? They wouldn't make that up. My thing is with the online sources and wizards talking about the Tamashanta as though it's like some kind of miracle stone that is grit-wise north of, AK or something like that. And I don't see it. I haven't seen it on a scope. I haven't seen it under a loop. I haven't felt it in a shave. I'm just not there. If there's a much finer variation of this, maybe, I don't know. But I've had a few, and they're all kind of the same. This one is like a little bit of a step back. And then the Dalmore side, you can't really see it, but there's like some spots in here that are reminiscent of the spots in here, okay? So like Dalmatian spots. The Dalmore side doesn't have the spotting, has some swirling. You got some interesting semi-swirling, not really swirling much, there's not a lot of movement, but there's lines there. This is more like, bendy, trippy, whatever. But and I'm not going to be able to like get it across to you. I'm going to try tilting the stone a couple of ways. Maybe the camera will pick it up. But there are little tiny flecks of what I think is mica in here. You really can't see it. Anyway, little tiny flecks of mica, and it sparkles a little bit. So no spots, little sparkle, coarser. Good indicator that it is Dalmore blue and not Tamashanta. Now there's a Dalmore yellow, and you can't mistake it. It's yellow and coarse as hell. It's not a bevel setter. It's more like a scythe stone. It's more like industrial type of farm implement type of things. But anyway, yeah, so these are these two stones. Let me move these over here. So what about this? This is, back a bunch of years ago, you couldn't find these. They're like hen's teeth. And then like someone finds a bunch and then they show up and then they go away because they get bought up really quickly. Water of air was used by watchmakers and jewelers for like buffing down solder blobs and polishing and taking out light scratches and stuff like that. So in that old school world of repair and service stuff, these stones were highly prized, and anytime one showed up, they just got snarfed. Once in a while, you'd see a razor Hone-sized piece with no label. You always wonder, like, is it real or whatever. So I saw this, I grabbed it because it has a marked box and it has a labeled stone. Now, there was a guy who was making his own labels and putting them on stones. He was selling them on eBay, and he said, "Oh, these are what they are," and I just printed up some labels to make people happy. And then it's bullshit. These actually are coming from the original quarry. I spoke with the source, Very interesting story there. Anyway, so this is legit, right? And I sealed it, Krylon. And let me move the box out of the way, protect it. Anyway, so this has some, not many, spots that are not all dissimilar to what I see in the darker Tamashanta or even the lighter one. But the spotting is not as, I don't know, what do you want to call it? The pattern is like a little more all over the place. So there's like this trail of spots that went through here, right? Now again, these are clay stones, mudstones, pre-shale, not foliated. I read a lot of stuff on the internet that the stories out there are just like crazy. I don't know where people get their information from. I think they just like, I don't know, make shit up or make themselves sound good. Anyway, and that's a fact. That's what they are. And these stones seemingly were tested by someone, and they apparently have a mix of, like a ferric oxide, there's an aluminum oxide, and there's some silica. So that's an interesting blend of things. But you have a clay stone, mudstone makeup, so you don't have the same type of stone as you would with, like, say, an Escher or a Janet or something that has, progressed a little further along in the process of becoming a stone. So they're soft. These are soft. These are soft. The Tamashanta, excuse me, the water of Ayr is softer than, as far as being a stone goes, is softer than either the Dalmor or the Tamashanta, right? You have to take care of it. I sealed mine. I don't know that it's going to help very much, but like Tashima Black Nagura, they just crumble after taking on water and drying out. They just, fissure and go. There's no layering and bonding to hold them together. That's my point. So you have that. Feedback-wise, see, when I talk about softness, there's two types of things. You have the actual hardness of the stone, and these are like, these are a little softer than these. But the feedback is very similar, a little less grainy, I think, than a Tamashanta, more silty, muddy type of thing, right? And I want to go back on something I said in the other video. I was talking about using slurry. I don't think that using slurry actually impedes the stone so much, but I was able to actually see a nominal improvement in edge quality by going with some slurry in the beginning and then going to water only. I had to resurface the stone and so on and so forth. So I don't know that the slurry is something that was in the way or what have you, but I think in the future, if I want to use a Tamashanta, if I want to progress as far as I can with the stone, I think I would probably end on water only. I would have to do a few more tests. With this stone, though, okay, it became apparent to me early on that you could start off with slurry if you want, and the slurry makes like a cushiony type of lube, right? But in my opinion, with this particular example anyway, and I had another water of Ayr a couple actually, but they weren't labeled, so it would kind of be unfair for me to make a comparison because I don't know for sure that the others were authentic and whatever legit, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm pretty sure they were. I have found that if you want the most out of this, I have to get my edge on here for a really long time with water only, no slurry. I completely wash it off every I don't know, 10, 20 passes. Anyway, let me move this out of the way. And let me show you just, let's see, I got the right side up. I had to clean this off the other day. I get some borax or cleanser powder on here and a toothbrush, and it's just getting all jammed up. So almost felt like I was lapping a diamond plate. So if I just put this on here, you see pretty quickly, right? I have a good amount of mud. This is a super worn plate, right? This plate you can't really lap stones with it. You can to just dress it, but if you want to take dimension off, this is not the one. And the feel here is like super, super fun. Okay, so that's something to know. Clear that off because that's what I do. Actually, what I'm gonna do is put this down. Might work. So I have a razor here that I'm not really honing. I'm just gonna like do this for demonstration. So if my strokes aren't perfect, get over it. I'm doing this so you can hear. Now, I don't know if you can hear it, but I hear a particular pitch or tone of wispiness. Right? Rinse this off. I don't know if the mic is going to pick it up. And you can also see the blade kind of picked up like some muddiness very easily, very readily, very quickly. Okay. Now, let's listen. All right, so this is a more subdued wispiness. Wispiness, by the way, is a highly technical term. It's definitely used by NASA when they do like all sorts of like, computations and mathematical equations. Wispiness, it actually has a Greek character. No, it doesn't. I'm making that up. So the pitch changed. The feel changed. I don't really have a muddy buildup. I find this to be the way to finish on this stone. Now, this is a narrow stone, but it's not too short, so I guess that's about, 7 inches or something like that. Anyway, so that's basically it. Because this isn't a real edge, there's no point in me continuing to show you anything because basically nothing changes. At this point, what I would do is I would rinse the stone off and clear. What I found was by doing that, I was able to achieve a finer edge. Now, my rigmarole with this was I came out of the gate with an edge to a particular synth grit level, jumped to this, finished, very few passes. I wouldn't say very few, but like let's just say I was doing like an Escher, right? I don't do a lot of passes on an Escher. And I shaved and I was like, So I went back and forth and I increased the number of passes. And then at some point, I dropped the edge back also and then honed through. So I cleared everything and then came to this without slurry of any type, just right out of the gate, water only. And I did like a bazillion laps. Now, I don't count laps, but I did that time. And we are way north of 250 passes. It goes quick, sit there and stare at it. And like every 10 to 12, rinse it off. All right. So that was like really the annoying part. So the way I did that, right, was like this. Right. That over there. Let's see if I can see. And go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And once I brought my thumb over and I just destroyed the tip of my thumb. So I learned to not do that. And you see how I'm doing this? All right, clear that, clear this. Okay, so a couple hundred laps goes pretty quickly. So anyway, verdict. I don't like using grit equivalents with naturals because it's bullshit. I will also say that I'm not convinced that the stone is consistent through and through with its grit, so I think using the entire surface is very important. Just a sneaking suspicion that I have, and that's fine. It's a natural stone, part of the game. You don't like that? Go buy a Naniwa, all right? Whereas Tamashanta did not make me happy as a finisher, but could be serviceable as, you know, something leading up to that. Okay, fine. I was able to get a shaving edge out of this that, not going to say it's great. It wasn't like phenomenal. I didn't feel like I shaved off of a J-nat. I had some killer edge. But I was able to do against the grain. I was able to get, I want to call it a good shaving edge, right? And I was kind of surprised, and I didn't come into this thinking that I was going to get there, okay? I had a feeling that I was going to be like, yeah, this is just another meh stone. This is north of meh, okay? Do I think you should run out and buy one? Well, you know, if you have an Escher, this isn't taking you anywhere, you know? If you have a Particulate, maybe in conjunction with it, you can create a different type of edge. Somebody contacted me on the YouTube and said that he's using this after an AK, and he likes that edge. Now, I'm not even an AK edge shaving person, so right there, I'm like sort of outside of that guy's zip code, which is fine. Everybody's got their own thing. You know, I don't fault people for being able to shave off of a Norton AK. I just say that I can't shave off of a Norton AK. I don't have a problem with them, but apparently some of them have a problem with me for not agreeing. This guy in question is not in that camp. He's using a Fuji, which is a very, very super high-end 8K, and then he's dressing it with this, and he likes that shave. That's great. That's what this is all about, okay? Not K, not superior, not knowing everything, whatever, okay? So with this, the water of Ayr, I think, this one, the black one, okay, there's a blue one that's not as fine, so I don't believe you're going to get to the same place with that stone. But anyway, naturals vary, so you never know. But right here, I got to tell you, able to shave off of this. I can use it as a razor finisher. It's not going to, like, you know, get me all jazzed. I'm not going to go throw out my Particules and my Thuringians and my J-nats because I have this cool water of Ayr. Not going to happen. But I could pull it out, and I could finish an edge on it, and I could be happy with it. And I think with working with it a little bit more, maybe I can eke like another point of performance out of it. It's the way it goes. The more you do something, the better you get with it. At least that's the way it works for me. Anyway, so that's it, right? Tried to keep this quick. I don't know if I kept it quick, but it's as quick as I could be. So I'm going to put my penguins out here, all right? Because that's what we do. Why penguins? Well, because they're cool. Look at them. And, you know, they're, you know, my mascots. Some people seem to think that they're somebody else's mascots, but no, they're mine. Anyway, so here you go, all right? A little bit of shaving info, a little bit of stone info, all about having a good time. This is exciting stuff for me. I'm very happy this stone worked out. I'm really happy to have the Tamashanta in my kit too, even though it's not like something I'm going to rely on. It's a cool stone. I like all of these stones. The Dalmore is like a whatever stone to me. I could live without it, but it's interesting because it's cool looking. Anyway, that's what it's all about, having fun. Get out there, hone some edges, have a good time. Until next time, take care. Talk to you soon.